They said no one could survive the storm that year. The wind came down from the peaks like a living thing, sharp, howling, endless. But on the edge of the mountain pass, there was still a small wooden cabin, a single lantern glowing weakly in the dark. Inside, an old man kept the fire alive. He was the last snow warden of the pass, and his only companion was a dog named Bran, a massive, golden-furred mountain hound with eyes the color of stormlight. For years, they had lived like this,
Good boy.
guardians of the frozen road. Whenever travelers were lost, the sound of a distant bell would echo through the snow. Bran would leap into the storm, and more often than not, he would return, pulling behind him the weight of another life saved. But this winter was different. The storms came earlier, harder. Snow buried the mountain paths faster than anyone could climb them. Most of the nearby villages had already been abandoned. Only the man and his dog remained, keeping watch as if duty alone could hold back the cold. One night, long after the last light from the valley disappeared, Bran lifted his head. The faint jingle of a bell drifted through the wind. A sleigh, perhaps, or maybe just ghosts of travelers long gone. The man stood, tightening his coat. "Another one," he murmured. He reached for the rope, the rescue gear, the small lantern. Bran was already at the door. The storm outside was merciless. Snow whipped sideways like knives. Still, the two figures moved through the white world. The man leading, the dog beside him, chest deep in snow. The sound came again closer this time. Then a scream. They ran. Through the blizzard, they found a broken sleigh, half buried in a drift. A woman and her child, unconscious but breathing. The man tried to lift them both, but his leg slipped. A sharp crack echoed through the storm. He fell, gasping. Bran barked wildly, circling him. The man gripped the dog's collar with shaking hands. "Go," he whispered, pushing the dog's face toward the valley. "Find them. Bring help." The dog hesitated just for a moment. Then, understanding, it turned and ran into the storm. Hours passed. The man dragged the woman and the child into a small hollow, sheltering them from the wind with his body. He pressed the last ember of warmth from his lantern against his chest. Outside, the storm swallowed every sound. Down the mountain, Bran ran through darkness and snow. He crossed frozen creeks, slipped over ice, fell, rose, and kept running. By the time he reached the nearest village, his paws were bleeding. He barked, pulling at coats, biting sleeves, leading the startled men toward the pass. When the rescue team reached the ridge at dawn, the wind had eased. They found the woman and the child alive, wrapped in the man's coat. The man himself had grown still, a faint smile frozen on his face. But Bran was nowhere to be found. They searched for hours. Only the dog's footprints remained, leading higher into the mountains, toward the cliffs that overlooked the sunrise. Weeks later, when the snow began to melt, someone found a brass bell caught on a pine branch. It rang softly whenever the wind passed through. And some nights, when storms returned to the mountain, villagers swore they could hear a dog barking in the distance. Strong, fierce, echoing between the peaks, as if Bran still guarded the pass, still searching for travelers, still keeping the promise he made. They say the last snow warden died that night, but his dog never left the mountain. And when the storm cries, you can still hear them. Two souls keeping watch together, where the wind never forgets.